In this globalization era, it's hard to imagine life without plastics. It plays an important role in our daily lives as well as economic growth. Cheap, sterile and convenient, it changed our lives. Due to wide plastic utility, its global production has increased every decade. Since 1950, total production has measured at about 9.2 billion tons. The weight of almost 1,600 Great Pyramid of Giza. SPI resin codes at the bottom of the plastics are featured to indicate which chemicals were used to make the plastics and help us recycle according to their types. There are total 7 types of plastics with different characteristics and uses. Now, I am going to tell you about polyethylene terephthalate, a type of thermoplastic polyester which has SPI resin code 1, it is more commonly known as PET. PET is commonly used to produce many household items, especially plastic bottles, with production accounting for about 30% of global demand. How to produce PET? The first step is to extract crude oil and natural gas from the ground or seabed. From there, fossil fuels are refined where they are converted into ethylene glycol and terephthalic acid, also known as TPA, and cracked into smaller molecules. In turn, these monomers were bonded into new PET in the form of pellets by polymerization. After that, they were melted and refined in molds to create resilient products. They were then wrapped, shipped, bought, opened and consumed. Polymerization is a chemical process of monomers joining together to form polymers. To produce PET, the monomers have 2 reactive ends, and condensation polymerization occurs by eliminating water. Using carboxylic acid, benzene 1.4 to carboxylic acid and alcohol, ethane 1,2-diol, the carboxylic acid and alcohol group can react to form ester links to hold the large polymer molecule together through direct esterification, and water is released. Other than producing water bottles, PET is used to produce beverage bottles, tote bag, jam jars, comb, 3D printing filaments and microfiber clothes. What are the characteristics of PET? PET is lightweight, recyclable, non-reactive, so it can be used in medical fields such as pill packaging. PET is also shatterproof and suitable for transparent application. It has its drawbacks such as susceptible to oxidation, so it is not suitable to produce beer alcohol container as it will degrade their taste. Nowadays, PET are commonly recycled and repurposed to make textiles, auto parts, sleeping bag, food container, shoes, and luggage. It's amazing, isn't it? For example, manufacturers such as Coca-Cola, Adidas and P&G use recycled PET as a replacement for virgin polyester. Have you wondered how to produce a completely new thing from used plastics? After sending to the recycling center, the used plastics are being sorted into different types. Shredded into pieces, washed, melted at high temperature and, lastly, packaged as raw materials, reborn to something completely new once again. Despite fully recyclable characteristics of PET, there are only 9% of plastics was recycled, 12% burned, 70% of it is abandoned around still. What happens to the plastics you throw away? As it can take plastics 500 to 1,000 years to decompose, damaging natural habitats, endangering wildlife and polluting communities are what they will do. Around 8 million tons of them per year ends up in the ocean. Most plastics don't biodegrade, they will break down into microplastics which might rotate in the sea eternally. Although PET is recyclable, it requires high cost to produce items from recycled PET than from virgin PET. However, do we have a more eco-friendly option? Yes, we have polylactic acid, PLA, which is made from renewable biomass sources such as cornstarch and only takes few weeks to decompose. Naturworks is one of the biggest PLA producers. They transform greenhouse gases into long-chain sugar molecules, ferment into lactic acid, then transform into rings of lactide and lastly polymerizes into NGO-PLA polymers. According to Naturworks, it saves 2/3 energy required to produce traditional plastics and about 70% less greenhouse gases when it breaks down in landfill sites. Nowadays, PLA are used to produce single-use food containers and widely used in medical field as stitch. You don't have to remove it because it will eventually biodegrade over time. Conversely, this type of plastic cannot stand with high temperature and is softer than traditional plastics. In Malaysia, PLA plastics are widely used in supermarkets such as Aeon and NSK. Other than that, scientists has discovered some organisms that break down plastic material such as waxworm and meatworm which turn plastics into composts. All in all, each person can make a huge impact in helping decrease plastic waste if we take one more action to recycle the used plastics in our day-to-day lives. Together we can build a cleaner, healthier, and happier Mother Earth by standing together to fight plastic pollution. Thank you for watching.